And we are live, reaching huge distribution. We're on your social medias and broadcasting on Smart Money Culture TV there in Texas and Louisiana. And we're here to make a huge difference throughout your days, your day to day. You see the stock markets, the Bitcoin markets are pumping. And we got some of these people on the leaderboards. Biden and the Pope not looking too good. They have to make hospital visits. We'll touch on that. And gold and silver are for sale at costmetals.club. Get in, get your precious metals at cost. We have Bruce Porter here with us. How you doing, Bruce?
Doing fantastic, David. We're about to go live on Smart Money Culture TV. We're just leading into that at the moment. Live on that will be live in Texas and Louisiana, as well as streaming on our multiple platforms here. Really interesting day that we have. Of course, Bitcoin is absolutely flying, as everyone knew would happen sooner or later. Of course, I think Doggy is going to break out big here too. You have the Doggy coin, the Doge coin. I always called it the Doggy coin, but the Doge coin, really, okay, now we are live on your TV on Smart Money Culture TV. We're live in Texas and Louisiana. Thank you for joining us there on your TVs and in the background and everything else. TV is a little different from streaming. Of course, streaming across YouTube and X and everything that we've done for years is a bit of a different setup. A TV going on in the background is different. So we're loving that medium. We're reaching a lot of people. It's millions of people. It's over 2 million people that are there. We're broadcasting. Our signal is reaching over 7 million people, and of those 7 million, 30% watch local television, and so it come up with the number of 2.3 million. There is near 200,000 people that are watching every day. So I doubt it's the same 200,000, but 200,000 people are clicking in and watching the shows per day. So that is a big number. Those are great numbers. So speaking of great numbers, 62,620 Bitcoin appears to be absolutely unstoppable. This pump is really something else. Of course, the all-time high is 69 something. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. We can just look at this chart while we're talking because it is climbing. It is climbing even as we're doing the show here. 62,77777. It is just going for it. And what you have here is this is big time FOMO. Big time FOMO going into the markets here. Yesterday, they bought more Bitcoin than was produced. I think the day before they bought, these ETFs bought more Bitcoin that's being produced. And that doesn't include the people like yourself who may go to the exchange and buy it. I do recommend that you buy your own crypto, that you do not rely on these ETFs. The ETFs are a great thing to pump our bags, and they are going for it, but they want to be the ones that are holding the Bitcoins. They don't want you holding the Bitcoins. And there's always a reason for that. If someone doesn't want you holding the actual asset, you got to ask yourself why, and then ask yourself if that's okay with you. And maybe it is okay. You can see here just going for it. 62,815. Just as we're on our broadcast here, we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. Bitcoin is this is the monetary revolution. This is what David and I have been talking about on stages around the world. People ask me, well, Bruce, what do you want to talk about? What's your topic? And I'll tell them the monetary revolution. Okay, we've been doing this since Bitcoin was since it was $70. I mean, this is like this is the deal here, guys. I mean, this is it'll probably spike up quite a bit more from this. It could go here, there, and all around. You know, that is the nature of the beast. Don't end up in some highly leveraged position. But we are winning. We are winning the monetary revolution right now. And this is how we take the power back from the central bankers who have enslaved us all. And you can see that number. And the reason that number keeps getting higher is once they figured out that they couldn't stop it, that they couldn't stop the Bitcoins, that they couldn't freeze them. You know, Bitcoins cannot be seized if you store them correctly. They can't be seized by court order. They can't be frozen. They can't stop them from being sent, and they can't stop them. They can't freeze them. They can't do anything. And so once they figured that out, then they just started buying them, and that is why you see this. The central bank rules our countries around the world. They have totally bypassed the government. We've been talking about it quite a bit lately. Back in 1913, they organized a bank crash. J.P. Morgan and his cohorts organized a bank crash with the Rothschilds, and then pushed through legislation to approve the Federal Reserve Act, and that was when they started the central bank. And before that, we didn't have a central bank. The founding fathers explicitly didn't want a central bank. We didn't want a central bank because we knew what the Rothschilds had done in Britain. So the central bank has now bypassed Congress. As soon as that central bank, that Federal Reserve Act was put through Congress, really the Congress didn't work for us anymore. They now worked for the central bank. The central bank would print them up whatever they wanted, and then they would just tax people. And it has been until today. And I know some of you guys who watch are now starting to figure it out, but it has really been today for most people. And they have not even figured out that the central bank is diluting them and taxing the absolute mess out of them by a rate of ridiculous amount. What they're doing right now with these bills that they're pushing through, and you see all the talk right now, and of course you have Hunter Biden going into Congress. The reason Hunter Biden is going into Congress, in my opinion, right now, is just to cover for the fact that they're going to try to push through this $95 billion bill. They have no choice but to push through this $95 billion bill to give money, $95 billion to Israel and Ukraine. They really have no choice, because if they don't do it, then the central bank is going to get mad at them, and they're going to start exposing their sex crimes, and they're going to even make them up. And that's why you saw the DOJ out there yesterday saying, oh yeah, we got this big sex ring here in DC, and this is an absolute disaster. But as well, they're so far into these wars. So, you know, you have Israel, wink, wink. Oh yeah, we don't want a bigger war. We don't want a larger war with Lebanon. At the same time that they're doing that, they are bombing the absolute mess out of them. And so it's like this whole, thing. And then, of course, Biden going to the hospital. I think Biden going to the hospital, I think this is a big setup. That's what I think. I think it's a big setup. Biden going to the hospital. Oh, here he goes. Everybody's wondered how in the world they're going to run this guy again. And then all of a sudden, right now, as all the bombs are flying, Putin says he will respond militarily to Sweden joining NATO. Sweden joined NATO yesterday or the day before. Biden in hospital is cover for his exit. Oh, question mark. That's what I think, guys. Oh, yeah, you can see this here. We're really going for it again. 63,000. 268 right now. I'm going to put this more on this is on a 6 hour. I can put it on so you guys can really get the effects as we're going here. I mean, this is really going for it. This is the Binance market here that I have on here. But Biden, guys, is, I don't think he is, whether he plans to make it over the line or not. I don't think the administrative state, which is the deep state here in the U.S., which is basically, I think, run out of a certain place. I guess I won't say it on the air right now. But the deep state that runs the administrative state that runs our country, I don't think they plan on having him as the president. And they may pull him before the contest, before the election, or after, but they're certainly setting him up for it. I mean, the way that, look at this, the 63,825. Wow. The way that they are able to, for the way that the DOJ was able to go out there and say that they weren't going to prosecute Biden because he was too old and too senile, and nobody even blinked, is just absolutely unbelievable to me. I think people have gotten used to being ruled so much that they don't understand. They don't even understand. Guys, you should be on the streets. And I'm not saying not to be peaceful, okay? You got to be peaceful. That's the thing about the monetary revolution, okay? It's a peaceful revolution. But you should be on the streets. The fact that that $100 and something billion bill that they passed last month in order to send to Israel and Ukraine cost you $1,000 extra tax via inflation. Now they're going to do it again because they have no choice, because the central bankers are going to come after them if they don't do it. Central bankers. So 1913, they passed the Federal Reserve Act. We get the Federal Reserve. World War I starts in 1914. The IRS started that same year in 1913 when they started the Federal Reserve. And we have been being diluted, and we have been slaves to the central bank ever since. 64,000 Bitcoin. 64,000. Boy, we're going for it. So remember, 69 and change. I think 69,700 is the all-time high. We may hit it during this show. 64 Bitcoin. 12, 20. Let me just put it here. 64,000 Bitcoin. Boom. That's 12. Make sure to follow me, of course, on X, and David as well. David is Sir David Porter. Keep up with all of the latest and greatest that we have going on. 64,000 Bitcoin, $64,000 of Bitcoin. And as I said, guys, the alt rally that is going to happen after this is going to melt faces. If this isn't melting your face, the alt rally is going to melt your face. This stuff is going to be, you're going to be Xing. Now, if you think about it, since the bottom, let's say Bitcoin hit 15, so then 30 was double, 45, or that was 1x, 45 was 2x, 50, 60 was, okay, so 60 was 3x. So it's already 3x from the bottom going on 4, okay? Working on 4x. But it's 3x right now. So the alts are going to go even more parabolic. Mark my words. Especially now that the big money is in Bitcoin. Now, historically, we have a big down. Everything crashes. And the alts crash even harder than the Bitcoin. Okay. And then, boom, when Bitcoin rises again, all those alts, all those weak hands have all been shaken out. And then they just go bam, and they explode. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how much of a pullback, or if any, really, that we're going to have on Bitcoin, because there's so much money in the picture now. And remember, this is not like a stock. This is not like something that they're just going to do a stock split and make more stock. There's not going to be more Bitcoins. The only way that you get more Bitcoins is by going into alternate currencies. You have, of course, I always talk about the older proof of work coins, because one of the reasons why Bitcoin is so valuable is that it cannot be seized, it can't be frozen, it can't be stopped. And those old blockchains that are proof of work that didn't update to this new token stuff, okay? Litecoin, of course, Bitcoin, you have Global Boost. There's a few others, but really there's not many left. There's not many left, guys, that are the old proof of work coins that they can't be frozen or taken by court order or anything like that. And those are the ones that you really want to have some of. Litecoin, in my opinion, is still cheap. And again, we're not financial advisors, okay? Not financial advice. Litecoin, in my opinion, is still very cheap. Global Boost, in my opinion, is still very cheap. We're broadcasting from Global Boost Media. That's the brand that we're broadcasting on. Of course, we're on Smart Money Culture TV. We're on a commercial break right now, but we'll be back in a second. But that is, that's really something else. Of course, I was just talking to our developer, Gabriel, who we worked with for over 10 years. And he has some code that's almost ready that he's going to be releasing as well. But just really, guys, this is an explosive market. And I think, I was talking about it on the show this morning, that they are not planning for the US dollar to really continue to work. I don't know what they're planning, but the way that they're minting this money out of nowhere, and they're not even printing it, they're just minting it, on their computers or whatever. 90% of the US dollar is on computers. It's already virtual. It's digital. People don't realize that. 90% is digital. But the way that they're minting it up, if they continue to mint up about, and the government continues on the rate it says now, which is spending about $1 trillion per month so far. We're coming into our third month, and we're about $2 trillion that they've spent. So if we continue on this path, which it doesn't, of course they're going to pass this $95 billion bill, but they're going to need another $100 billion next month. They needed $1 billion in January. They needed $100 billion in January. They need $100 billion in February. Of course, they're going to need another $100 billion next month, or it might be a month and a half or 2 months. But if we continue on this route that we are now, last year, the U.S. Treasury, according to them, the government spent $6 trillion. And again, they were only taking in $1.5 trillion in the tax. So that means that your effective tax rate is actually 3 times what you're paying. And that's why the inflation is so high. But if they keep up this route, we're going to spend double what we spent last year. Inflation is going to be through the roof. It's going to continue to go through the roof, but it's going to get even worse. And there's no way that your jobs or anything else is going to be able to keep up with that type of inflation. And so the dollar is going to continue to decline. And things like Bitcoin, I think gold and silver are being held down at the moment. They're being held down by paper while the super wealthy buy them, but they are going to go. There's no way they don't go. Once people start buying real gold and real silver in quantities, that is going to go, guys. That is going to go. We have a club. It's called At Cost Metals. At Cost Metals. It's a little different. Crypto is a little different than metals. If you want to get involved in crypto, I suggest you go to Global Boost with the dot between the O and the ST. Find an exchange, get some Global Boost. Okay. Now, if you are interested in getting gold and silver, then I suggest you go to atcostmetals.club. Go to atcostmetals.club, sign up, it's free, and you can get gold, silver, palladium, platinum at cost. Okay, at cost. You can buy it at cost, and we are launching. There was a little bit of a delay because they had to get all the AML, which is the anti-money laundering, and the KYC, which is know your customer stuff in place. But that stuff is in place now. And so we are about to blast into the stratosphere on that. We already have quite a few people have signed up under us. I want to welcome you back to joining us on Smart Money Culture TV. We are live in Texas, and we are live in Louisiana on your TV. We are a fast-growing network. Smart Money Culture TV is a very fast-growing network. We plan to expand this by 6x. So we're reaching 7 million. Our signal's reaching 7 million people right now. We plan to reach 50 million by the end of July is what we're predicting. By the end of July, okay, 50 million people. And the way that works, again, I'll run that down. About 30% of those watch local television on a normal basis. And so we'll be in front of, over 10 million people, well over 10 million people per day. And that's powerful. That is really powerful. So the war is expanding around the world. You have, of course, Sweden is now in, Sweden is now joined NATO. And, of course, you have Putin saying we are going to respond militarily to this. And that is a situation that is very hot, and it's combustible. It's combustible. And, we keep, and then I was just reading as well, we have CIA built, quote unquote, secret bases. CIA built secret bases there on the border of Russia and the Ukraine. And they said they're getting all kinds of information. Very volatile. It's a volatile situation in Eastern Europe and Russia. So the thing that people don't realize is about Sweden is that Sweden has a long history of war with Russia. Just putting this out on the posted out with the timestamp. So people don't realize that Sweden has a long history of war with Russia. Russia and Sweden, that's something that they do. And as a matter of fact, depending on who you talk to, the entire Russian bloodline. I don't want to make anybody upset with me. Okay, I'm just talking. Okay. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I'm not a Russian advisor either, or a Sweden advisor, okay? But I do know a lot of people, and a lot of people. Some people say the entire bloodline of the Russian people was changed when Sweden won the war, and actually came into the House of Russia, and they're So anyway, long history. We're talking, when we talk about 1,000-year wars in Israel and everything else, that's why I always tell everybody, I'm like, guys, these wars have been going on for thousands of years. You think you're going to stop this war now? Like, these people in the Middle East, they have been fighting for thousands and thousands of years. And this country, Israel, that we put in there, it's not the same Israel from thousands of years ago either. It's a latest country that's in there, and of course, but these people have just been fighting back and forth, and it may last, but it may not last. There's a lot of people around there, so we just had a big rejection. They call that a rejection of Bitcoin right here at 64. We hit 64, and then bam, it got slammed down to 61,269, and you see it already recoiled back up to 62 something. At a certain point, we will top and have some type of a pullback, I think. But there's so much big money in this deal now. There's so much big money that it's I don't know. It's hard to see. So just to give you an idea, at the two halvings ago, we had a 38% retrace right around now in these weeks leading up. So first we had this big move up, as speculators bought. Then we had a big retrace, okay, 38%. And then we went after the halving to all-time highs. The last halving, we had our big pump. Then we had a 20% retrace during this time, okay, give it whereabouts. And then after the halving, we went to all-time highs. But things are different. It doesn't mean it's going to happen now like it did then. But that is historically how it's happened. Doesn't mean it's going to happen now. You have a lot of big money, and you have, again, this out of control printing of the central banks. And you also have the central banks. People understand what's going on now. They understand that the central banks are running our countries, and they're starting to wise up to it. So again, just a little bit on that. So Sweden, so Putin has said he will respond militarily to Sweden, and I think that's a big deal. I mean, what does that mean? That he's going to respond militarily to, you know what I mean? Like that strikes me as a big problem. So that we have that going on, and then if we focus on Israel and what's going on over there, Israel says they don't want a war with Lebanon. I'm of course tweeting it out. And I'm just going to put wink, wink, because they're saying no, we don't want a war. We don't want a war with Lebanon. And meanwhile, they're bombing like multiple times per day all kinds of different positions. So that's they're not going to stop that. They're not going to stop it. And as long as the central bank is willing to front the money, because again, guys, the thing is they're going to really push for Congress to approve all of this stuff, to approve all of this funding, but they don't need it to approve it. The central bank can print out whatever money it wants. They're in control of the monetary policy of the money that they print. It's their money that we use. We borrow it. Actually, they produce the money. We borrow it at about a 3% interest, give or take. So every $100 comes with a $3 debt. That's why we can never get out of the national debt. That's why. Okay, that's how it works. So they don't need Congress to approve the $95 billion. The reason they need Congress to approve the $95 billion is that so the average person in the United States doesn't realize what's going on. But you can see it happen from time to time, right? You can see it happen. You have Biden, quote unquote, the way he says it, forgiving the student loans. He says he's going to forgive the student loans. Yeah, let's unpack that real quick. Let's talk about how that works. 2741. So when Biden says that, when Biden says he will forgive the student loans, what he really means is that the central bank, Federal Reserve, will print with this. Again, it's not really print, it's mint. I'll say mint the money and pay back the lenders. Then they will tax every home in America about $1,000 to pay the creditors, the lenders, to pay themselves back, I should say, to pay themselves back plus interest. And it's important everybody figures out how this works. Let me just read that again. When Biden says he will forgive the student loans, what he really means is that the central bank, the Federal Reserve, will mint the money and pay back the lenders. Then they will tax every home in America, I should say, by inflation. $1,000. I had about in there, but I didn't have time. $1,000 to pay themselves back plus interest. That's the way the scam works, guys. That's the way the scam works. And that's what's going on. And that's why Biden doesn't need Congress to approve it. And that's why the Supreme Court doesn't have to approve it. because they don't need to. The central bank is holding the purse, and they can do whatever they want. And they've never been audited, and the central bank and Congress's hands are completely held. So nice pullback that we've had here on Bitcoin. Back down, it dove down here. Dove is a relative form to 58,725. So from 64,000 to 58,735, and you can see the volume just unbelievably massive. But I did just put that post out there, so I just want to cover that a little bit more. Okay, Biden and these guys do not need Congress. They want Congress to play along and approve it, but as you see, even with the border, okay, they don't need Congress to keep the border open. Well, they don't need Congress to close it either. Sir David, what do you think?
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous that they can mint the money and pay for these wars. And like you said this morning, when we stop this process, the wars will stop as well.
Absolutely. If we stop funding the wars, then the wars will stop. That's
it really seems like they're sucking the wealth out of the hardworking people.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. It's a good way to say it, Dave. They're sucking the wealth out of the hardworking people. You hear that sucking sound? That's them sucking your wealth out.
The fiscal challenges, etc.
Listen to this.
So very focused on being cost effective. We actually fund ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it. And I'm
gonna roll that one back again. Make sure everybody hear it.
That one's
we
hilarious.
Fund ourselves. Central banking is a great business to be in. You mint the money and everybody believes it.
Yeah, it's like those crap coins that we all talk about.
Those things are going to fly too.
So we kind of it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it, and touch wood, and so
it's worth playing again. Watch them all cackle. It's great.
Business to be in, central banking. You print money and people. It's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it, and touch wood. And so
I forget who that is exactly.
Slightly different.
I know. I was about to back it up and show you. It's great business to be in central banking, where you print the money and people believe it. That's Adrian Orr. He's the governor of the Reserve Bank, which is the Central Bank of New Zealand, during a parliament meeting. And I said,
he just went on and said it.
He said the silent part out loud. They don't even care anymore.
That was
bro.
good.
They don't even care anymore. They are not even trying to hide it, and they don't have to. That's really one of the parts that some people don't understand. They don't have to hide it anymore because everybody has gotten so complacent and become so weak and thinks that we can't do anything about it. That here we are. Craziness. Yep. Okay. So we are doing a bit of a pullback here. We're down below 60,000 at 59,636. Let me put this back on the stage here. Now, if we did have a really a decent pullback, which, I mean, guys, look, there's a lot of money in this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have a massive pullback. See, really back up to 66,000 right there, back up to 60 again. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we did, because what you have right now is you have a situation where all of these exchanges, especially these ones that have derivative trading, everybody's just long. And if it just continues to go long, the payouts on that are absolutely massive. They may even, some of them may even go insolvent. They may not be able to pay them. It's hard to say. On these platforms, you're able to open up a long position, maybe 10x, 5x, maybe 20x, or even 100 or 200x on some of them. And that's a lot of money. So you can put 10,000 in there and, have $1 million position that they have to pay out when you sell. And so that's why a lot of times you see the up and down and all around that goes, because they liquidate the different people. But it is looking quite strong here. And of course you have Michael Saylor, who's already up about 5 billion on his company stuff. So there you are, 60,432 as we hop around here. Coinbase crashed, bull market confirmed. That's hilarious. Well, just like I said, yeah, so Coinbase crashed. So right there at the peak, when everybody wanted to sell, Coinbase crashed. Guys, we've been in so long, they always do that.
Hopefully, Jared Arms isn't using Coinbase right now. He's backstage with us, and we'll bring him on in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. That is too funny. Yeah, well, they didn't want people to be able to sell. They probably also didn't want people to be able to buy this crash. I'd have to look at the exact timing of it, but definitely going to post that one out there. 3630. Ha ha ha. Coinbase crash. 3630. Coinbase crashed. ... Again.
No more withdrawals.
Every single time. LOL. Pound Bitcoin. I don't know how. I would say I don't know how they get away with it, but I mean, Coinbase is basically just like Google and these other ones. Whether they started out being government or just got bought out, who knows? They are basically the feds. If you have an account there, just know everything you trade is with the feds. No Coinbase here, Jared says. Jared Arms. That's right, man. No Coinbase here. We got Jared Arms in here.
Yeah.
Jared, what's going on, man? Hello, sir. Jared, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Mr. Jared
I'm doing
Arms.
great. How are you too?
We're doing great. I just got to say, and not that you normally do anything bad, but we are on TV, so we have to make sure that we don't drop any F-bombs or anything like that. So just, I didn't talk to you beforehand, but just so you know, it's a $10,000 fine if we do anything like that. So make sure that we, and not that you would. We've done lots of different interviews. Not that you would. Yeah. I normally have that conversation. So how are you, brother?
Now I'm doing great. I actually had hosted my AI art keynote last month, and one of my speakers had cursed. I may add a fine to things like that because I got a lot of students watching me. I'm doing great. Yeah. I'm excited about today. I'm recording every time this Bitcoin is going up to have history, because I know people 50 years from now might be like, it was never that low at $60-some thousand. Like it actually was. So I'm just pumped up today. Was just sharing a few screenshots with that here today. We released our DApp V1 yesterday too. So if I got some time, I could do a quick little demo on that with a screen share. But I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm just super pumped up today for this Bitcoin. I know we've been asleep for about 3 years now with this not going past the 60 since November 2021. So I'm just geeked. I'm texting everybody on my phone, people who don't even know.
That's how it works, right? That's how it works. I'm just writing out my post here, Kylar. So that's the way it works. I remember the first time we went to 20,000, I had like friends I hadn't talked to. It's been great because I've kept in contact with people, but I had guys I hadn't talked to in years, hadn't talked to him since high school and everything. Bruce, hey man, how about that global boost coin? You know, or how many Bitcoins do you have? Or, you know, whatever it was. I mean, it is really something else. It really is exciting. I know you're doing a lot of good stuff. And we have our at metals, at cost metals, launching. I think we're finally launching. We got to go in and we got a KYC. She called me yesterday and let me know. And I'm sure you probably know that you're okay. Good. Yeah. I was on mute. So tell me a little bit more about what you have going on. And then we would love to see, and let me just actually give everybody a little bit of a history here. Jared and I have known each other for years. We met, and David and I, we met through a mutual friend, one of the blind athletes, really talented guy. And he was working with us and doing some of the sporting events with us that were primarily towards wounded veterans, but with the blind, it's all hands on deck. And so we didn't want to turn anybody away or anything like that. And he's a wonderful, wonderful guy and wonderful athlete. And that's how we met. And of course, Jared Arms was the first recipient of the Washington Elite Award back in, 2018 or something like that, right? Here in Washington, D.C. during one of our conferences. So that's a little bit about him. We've always kept in touch. He's a great guy. He's a wonderful person. And he's always working. And of course, we are doing the At Cost Metals business together. Make sure you go to atcostmetals.club and register, and that will fall under his line as well. We're on his line. So tell me a little bit else about what you have going on. And yeah, we'd love to see a demonstration.
Yeah. So, and thank you all for having me on. Thank you again, David, for pulling me on this morning. Been super excited.
I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I got my little bossed up attire and stuff. So I ain't know the attire, but I like how y'all looking and stuff. Is real professional. But we basically have the Kyler.io version 1 decentralized application that'll be launching next month in March. We have a demo up that we just posted on Facebook yesterday. Went over everything as far as the key features, the UX, the UI, the technical foundation, the roadmap, and things like that. So at the core for now, for this first version, it's just a simple app where our users and students can log in to check their wallet, their balance, switch between different blockchain networks, and take advantage of our NFT airdrops. And then we'll be having more updates soon. So I do have it set up, and I could just show the people real quick. It's real simple and fast.
Awesome.
Okay, so let me do that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm sure you've probably used StreamYard before, but if not, it's very intuitive.
Okay, 1 second.
And we are live on Smart Money Culture TV on TVs in Texas and Louisiana. Signals reaching about 7 million people on their TV, so we're pretty happy about that.
Oh, nice. Hello to everyone watching. I'm excited for you all to check this out. So I have 2 tabs up. The first one is just our desktop version. We do have one for mobile as well. So something brief. We have a connect with MetaMask button, how to get started, some of our key features. So what I'm going to do, you all can follow me on Facebook to watch like the full 30-minute video. So I'll hit connect with MetaMask. MetaMask pops up. Put my password in 1 sec.
Well, that's a nice password. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We can't see
pretty
it.
No, yeah. But just in case, all of them, they like 60 plus characters. So having an address, the network, and the balance. I do have we integrated one of the functions for the JavaScript, a balance polling function that can also read these balance updates in real time. Someone wants to send a transaction. Once the user logs in, they'll be able to also review our NFT gallery, get some of the rules on how to, claim these NFTs and coins. And then we have a few P2E games as far as math, lottery game just for educational purposes, a tic-tac-toe and a follow tokens game. So let me show you all kind of how this would work in a sense. So with one of these, we could say 3. So it's basically like every two, I'm getting confused. Every two answers that the students get right, it'll equal out to 1 E-line token. We'll add several cryptocurrencies on these. So we have, like I said, math games, history games, some of them just like fun, little tic-tac-toe or catch the falling tokens. But these P2E games that we have a part of this Kyler.io DApp, they'll be able to be incentivized with cryptocurrency or be rewarded with NFTs and crypto due to they progress using different things and within our workshops. So I want to keep that real quick and simple. Once we log out, that NFT gallery, the rules, the PTE games, all of that will disappear and hide. And we do have way more things I could talk about, but I just want to respect our time today. So let me turn this off. I'm excited about that. Next that we're using integrating this Google Firebase integration where people can claim a button, but we're still not collecting any information. We'll just kind of match up the addresses with that, but that'll be something that the people can opt into. So yeah, I'm excited about that, y'all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is the Elon. I know you've been messaging me a little bit about the Elon token. Anything usually that's not, is that your token or that's just a yeah, it's a okay.
It's an anonymous group. So the Elon, the Polydoge, we got basically just a nice supply of them, and then we'll be able to help our students out with different airdrops and stuff. And then people going up. Binance just spent $1.6 million on 10 trillion Elon tokens. Coinbase spent over $25 million on a few of them. Another nice purchase was bought yesterday for over $10 million. So I'm just trying to get, make sure that we on point too for the future of these new tokens that'll be released on different exchanges. And we also, we a heavy player partner with the Sponge token community too. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. The Sponge. Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing more exciting really than when the bull market goes. I mean, the money just flows around. I really want to get back to Monaco this year. That was like one of the most fun trips we had. We did a big yacht there during the Grand Prix. I mean, it was just really, really, really great, and the money was just flowing. Now, of course, if I could collect all the money that was owed to me, that would be easy. We could even do it in the same style easily. It wouldn't hurt at all. But once the bull market is running, once it is really going, which it is, I guess bull market is confirmed. I mean, Coinbase just crashed, so I mean that tells you pretty much everything you need to say. Coinbase crashed. All right, bull market is here, guys. They're not going to let you buy or sell at the wrong or right times. That's the way they usually work. Pretty funny. And of course, we just popped up to 64,000. So that was $64,000 that it hit there on Binance, which is, I still think, the world's foremost exchange, even with my friend CZ getting in a little bit of hot water there. But you can see here we do have, and I can even just make this a little bit bigger here. We do have a bit of a retrace. We went up to 64,000. Boom, down to 58,696, and then we're trading here at 62 or 61 rather, 200 or whereabouts. It is just really something else, right? I mean, I can remember looking at these back when at certain times when the volume just went absolutely nuts, and watching the buys and everything come in, and you can see that volume down here on the bottom as well. It's a good thing to look at. And there's also other things on here that I can set up. The RSI. Where is the RSI? Bands, right?
And before we wrap up, before you two all wrap up today, I do want to hear how you all feel today about, the exciting increases and things like that. I know we're going to hit 70K soon.
We are going to hit 70K soon. We may have, here's the thing. We talk about it every day. We may have a bit of a pullback. You know what I mean? Historically, the way we do it, we have a big pump up about now, or in the past few weeks, which is historically what happened, and then we have a decent pullback. We have a 20 to 40% or so pullback. But it's a little bit of a different story now because, of course, we have all these ETFs bringing in this big money. But the other part of that is, those guys want to make money too. So they get everybody to buy in at a certain price, and then you crash the price. You get people to sell, or maybe they get liquidated. You have these 2x ETFs now as well, and then you buy it back. And so that's the market. I do think right now everybody's scared to crash the market because they're scared to get left behind. And that's kind of the general notion out there. Even if the market does crash, don't let go of your long positions. That seems to be the general consensus out there. Look, they're printing the money out like crazy. These foreign wars that are going on, whether you support them or not, we're sending all our money out of there, and they're taxing everybody from inflation. And people don't understand that that's why everything is so expensive, is because that's how they're taxing us now. That's the biggest way they're taxing us. The tax that we're paying in inflation is about 3 times the tax that you're actually paying on your federal taxes. And if they taxed everybody 3 times what they're actually paying on their federal tax reserves, then we finally would be out in the streets and we'd have another Tea Party. But you know, it's due, man. I mean, I'm not advocating violence or anything like that, but the central banks have bypassed the government and they are ruling us, and I'm over it. I'm over being ruled by the central banks. I really am. In the meantime, let's make some good money with some tokens like Elon and Ripple and Ethereum and all those other ones. They're good for making money, that's for sure. And I know the Elon thing is pretty exciting. So tell me about the rollout of your DApp here. What's your plans?
So the next phase is that we'll be connecting with partners to offer different reward systems. So I don't want to take. I know y'all got 6 minutes of stuff, but basically we just
like okay. We actually the last 15 minutes is normally a spot where we will highlight different people. So let's go on for another couple minutes. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the main 3 things are really just connecting with more partners in the future, connecting with different game developers to have more than just our games on the platform, and then connecting with building a community out. We have a community far as like all of the stuff in St. Louis, but just having like a national community or more of a digital community, the D-munity in a sense. I've been hearing people say D-munity. But really just community partnerships and connecting with more game developers to kind of have more exclusivity on our DApp. In regards to like features and functions, we will be having more blockchains that people can switch between. Right now, we have about 4 to 5. I'm just promoting the Ethereum and Polygon. But I do have the keynote up. I have put a nice PowerPoint together with everything listing every single thing technically from the CSS, the back end, all of the listeners, the functions, and things like that. We don't collect or store any information or any data right now as far as balances. So really just making sure that we just learn more, But the partners, that's pretty big. This year, we'll be doing more with the St. Louis Cardinals. We had a nice partnership with them last year. We're still working with Aldi's in regards to our food program, H&R Block in regards to our financial literacy workshops for our students. So getting those brands to be a part of this DApp, for me personally, to help the students learn. Really, when a student is on this application, I just want these brands to be on here to help them learn more about different business industries on a decentralized app, and versus having people always identifying themselves with an email or something like that. I want to push them into this Web3 phase. So I'm excited about that. We have this now, but like I said, with the claim button, when people go on there versus just taking a screenshot or having a certain amount of Ethereum or cryptocurrency to be a part of this airdrop, we'll just make it real simple for them to claim it. But this claim button will extract anywhere from like 6 to 12 characters of the wallet address a part of this database. So those things I'll be making sure before we just update like a new version, that we'll be talking with the community, making sure that our partners want to I guess that is custom for everyone, because like with the math program, for an example, some teachers wanted to have multiplication and division. Some don't, because, they just like in preschool or elementary level right now. So having like this application or this DApp that can be custom with all of our partners, that's kind of what we're doing right now, but it's going to be nice. We got different versions already available. For now, I just want people to log in, check their balance, be able to see their wallet address. With this poll balance update, we got that reading the blockchain every 5 seconds, which might be a little too much. But you know how some people can hit the inspect element and change your balance, take a screenshot. So when people do that, which I have a live demo, it go right back to like the number in real time. It don't even wait 2-3 seconds. So all of those things are like real small, important things. Small features like where they could even copy the address by tapping it, having 12 character show versus the whole 40 character alphanumeric address. So it's a lot of small details. Okay. But so it's a little different stuff. I'm excited about that.
Cool, man.
On that for a little minute.
Make sure you guys check it out. It's Kylar.io, KYLAR.io, Kylar.io. Jared Arms, the great Jared Arms. joining us on the Porter Brothers Show. We should have you on more often. I'm super excited as well about what you're doing, and then as well our at cost metals. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. I think the metals are going to start pumping here pretty soon. Right now, the money is getting sucked into the crypto because how can you not? It's one of those things they just keep pumping, and so I think that's one of the reasons why stocks are down a bit as well. But always a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you. Are you planning on coming to New York for NFT NYC?
I am. I want to bring a few teachers with me too, who's been watching you all, that want to partner with you all and bring more to the students in St. Louis with Hazelwood School District.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, we have been flirting. What happened with the Coinbase app? Well, with the Coinbase, they crashed it. That's what they always do when there's big volatility. I didn't say that personally or out loud. No, I mean that's what they always do. Someone just commented. That's usually what they do. But of course, a lot of people want us to throw one of our galas there. We'll see. We are working very hard at the moment. David, of course, is in Europe. He's over there partying. I mean, he's working in Ireland and having a great time. So we'll see. But more than likely, I will be there. It's a short drive for me to get up there from DC. So if we don't see each other before that, let's plan on getting together then.
Gotcha. And after this show, can I have a link so I can share this with a few partners to check this out?
Of course.
Sweet. All right. Absolutely. Well, thank you all for having me on, fellas. I appreciate it. I'm always excited to be on here anytime.
You got it, brother. We'll do it again soon.
All right,
we're signing off.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah,
we're signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching on and helping out, guys. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.